And you came into this with the willingness to pursue the hard questions, to do the research and homework, and that you needed to do, and then you acted on it when you could.
Right.
And your action was changing your diet.
Yeah, that was initially that's why I went vegan, and then ever since then, actually, I became. I think it was about 6 months later, I found this vegan vegan group in Edmonton. And we actually have a doctor from Israel. He's the only vegan doctor I ever met, and so ever since then, we've been talking a lot about, you know, being vegan has a lot to do with how you treat animals, and I love animals, so there are a whole bunch of different ways of looking at it now, right? Like, I'd rather take care of an animal than cut it to pieces and put it on the barbecue, right? So
This is a huge transformation for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
out of it, not only did you get a new diet and apparently a new lease on life, you developed a community for yourself.
Yeah. So it's actually grown quite a bit. Like, he started the group initially, and there was 2 people.
What's the doctor's name? Do you mind telling me?
Yeah, his name's Dr. Zeev Gross.
Okay.
He's a really interesting character. At first, he wanted me to find another doctor because I need an MD doctor to do some things for me.
What kind of medicine does he?
He's just a family doctor.
Okay.
So I need a family doctor to make prescriptions for me in certain areas, because I only need 1 pill from him, and that's to an anti-seizure pill. So I have to be on that for my life, because they think when a good section of your brain's missing that you're gonna have a seizure.
Really?
I haven't had one yet, so not sure.
Describe your general health for us. Since
I changed to a vegan diet, there's been a lot of changes. Initially, my heartbeat was up around 75, 80. I'm down to between 50, I think the last 60 and 65 now. And then my blood pressure was like 120 over 80, which was really good. But the last time I went in, and they weren't too worried about it, but my blood pressure was 105 over 69.
Oh, that sounds a bit low, doesn't it?
It's a little bit low, but they don't have they're not worried about it at all.
They're worried about the upper end.
Yeah.
Your 80 was a little bit high.
Yeah.
The early one, yeah.
Yeah, but now it's reduced quite a bit, and my doctor is not too worried about it, because it's actually a good thing, because we're not even close to the area, of having heart attack or anything.
You haven't had
like
any
that,
signs of that at all.
Yeah, it's been dramatically reduced, and and then changing what I drink. Like, all I drink is alkaline water, right? And some of my research had a lot to do with that, because it's highly required in our body, right? And because our blood is 7.35, right around that area.
That's right. It likes to stay there.
Yeah, it likes to stay there. And if you drink constantly acidic drinks, or constantly eat acidic, it's always fighting to stay at that level, right? So from what I read, when I was kind of waiting around for my MRI results and everything, I found out that you need to, if you relieve your body, being alkaline in your diet, it reduces it reduces tons of things, like how sick you get, right? Because you could get like just moderate illnesses just from that, just from the difference in
from the acidic environment as a result of diet to the alkaline.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
yeah, well, your blood is pretty precious to us. So the blood wants to stay around 7.4 in there somewhere, and So it will do that by robbing alkaline from other parts of your body in order to look after
Exactly.
itself. This is, I think, what you're talking about. And so your body's in a state of discomfort. It's being robbed
Yeah, exactly.
right in its own home.
Yeah.
So that's not happening to you anymore.
Well, I don't know. I had a bit of see. I hadn't had a headache in a long time, and then it came back, and I think that I was having stress going on in my life, right?
You had
So my
headaches?
diet was very important, but recently, and that's one of the reasons why I'm on vacation in the this area. That like, I kind of had to just walk away, and as soon as I got here, my headache went away. So. It had to do with a little bit of stress going on in my life, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, and
you know.
I mean, you're in the middle of trying to get your daughter back now.
right.
But the difference between the stress now and the stress well before your brain operation was that you lived with that stress. You didn't deal with it. Now you're not willing to live a life with stress in it.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
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 It sure shows. I gotta say, I mean, your face just lights up.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
quite
So,
wonderful.
yeah. And then I also found too, with the way our health system works, there's quite a difference, between, they don't accept alternative medicine,
No.
and which kind of bothers me to a degree because there have been a lot of discoveries, in alternative medicine that are not accepted, right? And one of the, especially with cancer, because there is a major thing that did happen, but it was prior to World War II, right? And the doctor actually kind of figured out the cure to cancer, right? And that's kind of what I'm doing to myself, and it's actually working. So, I don't know is it okay if I say who it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, let people know.
Okay. Well, there was this Dr. Otto Warburg. I don't know if you heard of him.
I haven't heard.
Okay. Well, Dr. Warburg, he came out of I think he was a chemist. He got a PhD in chemistry from a German university in 1907, and then he went in to become a doctor after that. So in 1911, he came out as a doctor. So he was a chemist doctor, right? And he did a lot of work in regards to cancer because he was trying to figure out, what was going on with it. And eventually he did figure it out. And he's one of the guys that, I paid a lot of attention to when I was doing my research before changing my life, right? He came out with the facts, and he did over 1,000, 1,000 experiments on this. And what he found out was that we need more oxygen in our blood to be able to get rid of cancer, right? And the one thing about cancer is once it's in your body, it doesn't like oxygen. It loves acidity. So, if you're eating bad, it loves it, right? And, and so if you're eating acidic and garbage, it'll just continue to grow. And what he found out was that as soon as you enter more oxygen, which has a lot to do with the alkalinity, what happens is it stops growing. It might not disappear, but it won't grow anymore because it has no way of maintaining any inertia to get bigger, right? So, yeah, as soon as I found that out, that was one of the big changes, to go to an alkaline diet and to a vegan diet. And actually, what my doctor says is, because we don't want to get too alkaline or too acidic, right? We kind of want to stay on the alkaline side. So it's okay to eat some things that are acidic, but we do want to stay more on the alkaline side. So it'd be like a 20% to 80% difference or whatever. And so he's not, but he's been healthy, his whole life.
He's not an extremist.
He's not an extremist like me.
Saying. Yeah.
So he'll eat anything vegan.
He's not he is a vegan?
He's a vegan.
Okay.
So
Vegan?
he'll eat almost anything vegan,
Mm-hmm.
and he figures that it will all equal out to the right amount. But personally, I'm very sensitive about it all. So I do look at it very close, and I make sure that I'm more like 90-10, right?
Okay.
So, and you don't want to get too alkaline because it will have other states or whatever.
Our
that
body
are
likes to
presented.
be in balance, doesn't it? I mean, even its alkaline nature, 7 is neutral, and we're talking about the blood wanting to be about 7.4. It can go way up beyond that. So it is about balance and not neutrality exactly, but our body isn't interested in extremes. It'll cope with some of them, but it's not. It's going to enable us, just by its very nature, to live in this world and eat of its bounty
Yeah, that's
without
right.
worrying too much about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah.
So-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, and that's basically all there's, I have found out more, but that was the most important thing,
I was going to ask you what one thing on the internet turned your crank at any particular time. So it was encountering that doctor. You found him by accident, just through your searching on the net.
Well, I just looked up I looked up online about vegan restaurants, and I just put in vegan, and it popped up that this group was together, and I was like, wow, I think I'm gonna go, right? So, but I already known him quite a bit, and it was really interesting because the first day that I went, this would be like the 4th group meeting or whatever. So he was talking about cancer. So it was really interesting, and
Karma was working for you.
yeah,
Finally.
yeah, and basically he relies on this one website. It's called nutritionalfacts.org.
I know that site.
Yeah, and the one good thing about it, it's North American based, because we have a lot of problems in North America about changing our diets and changing our life,
You
right?
certainly do.
Especially with the corporate reaction to all this. So he's a doctor that's presenting all the 100% ideas that they've changed in our life and our diet, right? So, my doctor presents quite a bit of that, right? There are a few that he does show, but he loves that side.
And we're talking about your Israeli doctor.
My Israeli doctor, yeah. Zev Gross.
How do you spell his name?
It's Z-E apostrophe E-V
Okay.
Gross.
Gross.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. And he's in Edmonton, and
He's in Edmonton, yeah.
and he's a generalist.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
I gotcha. So anybody could go to him, and
Yeah,
does he take patients?
yeah. He just got to. When this all started, he had just got to Edmonton, and he's actually at a walk-in clinic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's trying to establish a place as his own facility, and it's a little bit difficult, I suppose. He was commenting on that, but he's my doctor, and you can get him as a doctor. So currently, he's helping me, and he understands where I'm going. So
What do you do, Scott, when you travel? You've been here in Salmon Arm for a week. Did you research ahead of time to find where you can get your stuff?
Yes, I did. But actually, BC is doing really good at its response to all this. And I looked for restaurants everywhere. That was kind of hard to find because not everybody, they will help you, make some vegan. But it's difficult. And see, I love getting organic food too, because that is a lot better than, this genetically modified that's been going around quite a bit. So one of the, can I mention one of the stores?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
One of the stores I go to is Save On.
Okay.
They actually have a really good selection of organic foods, and you know, there's a lot of salad and greens or whatever to buy, and they have, you look through the whole place and they do have quite a bit of organic food, which I'm very impressed with. And there's I think right here in this town, in Salmon Arm, right next door, there's actually a natural health food store, and it's amazing. And for a small town like this, it's not normal. Like,
Well, this town, I've only been here 2.5 years or so, but this town is very active about its food. In fact, there's an organization that's been around for some time that's redoing itself right now called the Food Action Co-op.
oh,
Salmon
nice.
Arm Food Action Co-op, and their number one activity right now is to develop gardens and teach people how to grow their own food. And
great.
yeah, it's a very exciting group of people. So water, air, food. Salmon Arm likes to think it's about that, and it's got a long ways to go to be as good as it could be. But the community here is marvelous. In fact, when I started my show, my very first interviewee was the owner of a small farm and beer brewery called Crown O'Gales, and they make certified organic beer.
Oh, nice.
So there you go. I don't know if you probably don't drink alcohol and you don't like the acidic environment of that either.
No.
But that's as good as it gets for beer. You know, so I talked with Brian right off the top, and you know, it was interesting because I said, let's talk on the radio, Brian. It'll maybe help your business grow a little bit. And he said, I don't want to grow my business. He's got it small, and he's in control of the quality. He doesn't just do beer, all the food and the people. See, he's got people helping him who live right on the farm, young people. So he's teaching people, and that's the kind of environment I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
A community really dedicated to the quality of food.
Yeah, and personally, everywhere I go, like I've been right across Canada the last couple of years, it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
It's growing quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little tough in Edmonton. Yeah, I think Alberta has a lot of. They're very interested in beef.
Oh yes, you bet.
You know, but even at that, there are quite a there's a. I think it's almost an exponential amount of people actually every year that there's a growth there.
Yeah, there's something
area.
happening, I think, in North America anyway. I think Europe has been ahead of us for a lot of this for some time, but we're catching up, I suspect, right now. What do you snack on?
What do I snack on? The odd fruit, and I'll eat. See, the snacks actually are a little bit acidic sometimes.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so on occasion I'll eat those organic nachos.
Mm-hmm.
I love the blue kind, I forget, and hummus. So, hummus actually is acidic too, but most of the time, 99% of the time, I'll have it with lemon.
No, and lemon
Lemon
metabolizes alkaline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it does. Lemon and dill,
Yeah.
and dill's alkaline too. So,
What about fermented foods?
well, there's actually my bread is it's the only alkaline bread. It's not fermented. It's sprouted. Sorry.
Okay.
So
okay.
it's sprouted, sprouted bread, and it's the only alkaline bread on the market. And I don't know about sprouted. Yeah, there's a few things, but I like in the summertime. I always go to the market looking for things.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a whole list of what's actually alkaline. So and those you got to look at them.
Do you have an email site? Do you have a little web page or anything like that, or a blog site?
I'm working on it.
Are you?
but it's been a year now I've been working on it. And so I have a whole bunch of pages, but um, I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to the site, so rather than mention it,
Okay, no,
I'll have to
don't do
wait.
that. You know, I mean, I would be thrilled to see a blog site from you. They're not hard to produce, and maybe you can get somebody in your community to help you do it, because you're full of information and a history that's really important for people to I think understand. Because most of
Yeah.
us are on a journey looking for our own health. The bottom line is no doctor cures anything. Only
No.
our bodies cure. So it's looking after the body, which you've had to really focus on. You've been in crisis. Not everybody has. And as a result of your crisis, you've researched, you've learned a lot, and you've taken action. I think your story is very important. And I'm glad you're here on our radio shows talking about it. But I'd love to see a blog so that some of this information that you're
Okay.
talking about could be posted there. I'd go to it
Well,
right
I should
now.
be. Well, I should be start. I do have it. I'm more than halfway done of just starting it.
Okay.
But see, I'm dealing with a gentleman in Eastern Canada on this, so we've had some communication issues, but
Oh, okay.
we're back on it again.
Good.
And yeah, so it shouldn't be too long before I open my website.
So I'm going to give you my card, and in the hopes that when you're ready to launch your site out there, you'll let me know so I can go in and broadcast it and say, "Remember Scott? You know, we discussed this on May the 1st, 2014. His site's up and running, and his information is there."
Oh yeah, certainly will.
Yeah, that'd be very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I had to cut my recording time with Scott Duplantie right there because the weed blower insisted it get his share of airtime. I remain in touch with Scott, and it's my hope, and I'm sure it's yours as well, that he wins his battle with brain cancer. I value the time and candor he provided us and can't help but think he really does have what it takes to take charge of his own health. Thank you, Scott, for your courage and your insights into food, lifestyle, and attitude. Our hearts are with you.